and welcome to another TOPinion today. I'm Joe from the Top Chat Gaming channel. This will be the third of the TOPinion series, as Matt has just released his other one about, yes, you guessed it, Assassin's Creed. What a surprise. But for me today, I'm going to be discussing the sort of expectation on gamers and playing games. Bit of a weird topic, but sort of stick with me. I've got my own sort of thesis around this, and maybe you've got your own ideas, so just give us a comment and tell me why I'm wrong. I love that. So yeah, today again it's going to be just me. So no long introduction this week because last week was ridiculous, but let's go. Oh no, it's still been long. Shame. Have you ever found yourself wondering what game to play next? Which game from your backlog will you finally dive into, or will you buy that new game that you've been waiting for? I know certainly I have, forever stuck in a battle with finally getting into The Witcher 3, or do I buy Resident Evil 2? There are so many games these days. On PS4 alone there are 1,877 games at the time of recording, yet I also own a Nintendo Switch and a PS Vita. It's hard to choose what to play, and often I found myself overwhelmed. In my PS4 library alone I have 170 games, mostly due to PS Plus, yet I've probably played and completed 20 to 30 of these games. The reason I haven't been able to complete or even play most of these games is down to time. As someone who works a 40-hour week, it will take me 3 to 4 weeks to complete a typical open world RPG light. That seems to be my typical game anyway. The open world model that has really taken hold of this generation is now perhaps part of that problem, or to some, a welcome addition to gaming convention. My first experience of large open world sandboxes where I could go pretty much anywhere and do anything was the GTA series, and back then it was such a novelty that when the game was open world I was excited. It was a selling point that would make me want the game. Now everything is open world these days. Gameplay loops consist of taking over the areas of the maps, taking out enemy bases, and finding collectibles. Basically you have to fill out the checkbox of side content to do as a distraction to the main mission. These worlds are designed for you to be lost in, to spend 60 to 70 hours inside trying to achieve that 100% completion stat. For some this is a positive. You are getting your money's worth from a game that you're continuously playing, unlike when we were younger. Remember saving up all your allowance for months to get that game you wanted, then play it over and over, discovering all the ins and outs, Easter eggs and collectibles, while saving up another few months for the next one. Nowadays the next game is next week. The next game is larger than the one before, with more to tick off on the checklist to get that coveted 100% completion. There's an expectation for the hardcore gamers to invest their time in all the major new releases, which for me is where the problem lies. I don't have anything against open world games. On the contrary, they hold much of my interest in gaming, but perhaps self-inflicted. I want to play everything, to have an opinion crafted from a hands-on experience, and to get through the so-called shame list. The concept of the shame list is damaging to many players, I feel. No one should be ashamed to have not played a game, self-induced or otherwise. There are so many games out there, particularly with the rise of games as a service model, which requires a constant time and financial investment to keep grinding out the game for better loot to compete with the best. How one can juggle a full-time schedule on top of playing The Division and Destiny while also trying to get through Red Dead 2 because it is in the zeitgeist becomes a chore for most when gaming is about relaxation and fun. This isn't to say you can't have fun doing this, but when phrases such as need to get back to X game and I have to platinum Y game are thrown around, it creates a mindset that this isn't a hobby anymore. This is why we are seeing companies such as Activision making hundreds of jobs redundant, and EA's share price falling. Many companies are starting to overestimate the time and financial constraints of the individual, particularly when they see outlying games such as Fortnite making epic cash by the boatload. For them this is the new target. Anything less is deemed unacceptable. There are only so many gamers who only have so much time to play each game. Now this could be argued that it's creating healthy competition in the industry, making better games that will deserve the attention of the community because the best games will be recognised as such. But what I'm really arguing for here is a bit of patience and understanding from developers and publishers, not to overreach themselves with overly ambitious projects that can cause losses of jobs within the industry because they thought that they could be the next Fortnite. I welcome the hundreds of quality titles that come out every year, and if anything, this is perfect for us consumers. The amount of choice is like nothing we've ever seen. Want to play a game as a piece of bread? Sure. Iron Bread has you covered. Or if you always dreamed you could be a ragdoll goat, then go pick up Goat Simulator. And these are great examples of what gaming has become in 2019, and the imagination that developers have is incredible. Yet I get asked, why haven't you played Red Dead 2? It's the best. And undoubtedly, it is. But you know, I haven't played The Witcher 3 or Spider-Man yet, and perhaps one day I will get to them. And if I don't, that's fine. Once I made peace with the idea I can't possibly play everything that is critically well received or the next game to be dubbed the best game ever, I found myself starting to enjoy experiences I was having in the moment a lot more, rather than thinking ahead to the next one. In Horizon Zero Dawn, I've just finished one of 2017's Game of the Year, and perhaps this time next year I'll have finished Red Dead 2 or God of War. But if I haven't, then that's okay. I'll surely be satisfied with the experience I had within that time, because now any game I pick up is a new experience for me, even if it has been largely forgot about by the rest of the industry. On the Top Chat Games podcast, I have a running gag about my big pile of unplayed games, from the point in my life where I wanted to keep up with all the latest releases, but found myself overwhelmed. This pile used to stare at me from my shelf, shaming me. Complete me, cries Fallout 4. Perhaps one day, but perhaps not. I had my time with the game and enjoyed what I played, even if that meant never finishing the main story, and I'm fine with not going back to it. Not to take away from anyone else's experiences, you should play games how you see fit. If it means to 100% all of the new games, then great. Have a great time doing it. And that is how gaming should be to everyone. Having these experiences no other medium can give you, but in your way. In the age of the influencer, we self-pressure ourselves to keep up with what they're playing, which can take away the element of fun we associate with our favourite hobby. But not all of us can work within the industry playing as and when we want. So perhaps we can cross out or delete that shame list and backlog, and just get back to enjoying what we want. Alright guys, thanks very much for listening to my little rant. If you disagree with any of the points, just tell me. I love to be wrong. That's not true. I hate it. Feed my ego, please. Tell me how right I am. Make sure you go listen to Matt's one on Assassin's Creed, and we've just uploaded episode 6 of the Top Chat Games podcast, where we discuss Battle Royale games, which I know nothing about. So yeah, come for a good time and our first ever guest. But in the meantime, bye for now.